Hi, Joe Soto here, and I want to share with you something I call preventing unforeseen obstacles. We've all been in situations where we thought something or a sale was going to go a certain way and it didn't. Something came up, something always happens, whatever it might be. And you've had situations and moments where you're like, man, if I could have saw that coming, maybe I could have prevented that. Well, there's a way to do that inside of your sales process through the power of asking some really good questions that are purposeful around preventing unforeseen obstacles. And the way to do it is by asking one or more of these type of questions. And you tend to do it in your discovery meeting. So early on, before you've even really presented anything, ideally, if this is a 2-call meeting where you're doing a discovery meeting, going back, getting the information, and coming back with a proposal, that's diagnosing before you prescribe, which I encourage you to do, then it's in between that time. It's at the end of the discovery meeting. You might ask these questions. So for instance, I may say things like, and I'll put these questions below for you. I may say things like this. I'll say, Jim, thanks for your time today, and I really appreciate, this, and I'm glad that you've taken some time to answer some of these questions. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you think I should have? And I'll just wait and let them answer. And they'll tell you. They'll tell you things that might have been top of mind that they thought you should have addressed or answered or asked. And then you can ask then. You can say, okay, great. Well, what is your answer to that? Or is there something else that I should have asked that maybe you've been eager to tell me or share with me? And if you've got a rapport and you've done a good job of asking questions, they may think of something, okay? Because you don't want things to pop up and surprise you in the end. I also could say, and this is how you really prevent obstacles from occurring. I'll say, is there anything we haven't discussed that could get in the way of us moving forward? Now they'll talk about possible barriers to the sale. Is there anything we haven't discussed that could get in the way of us moving forward the next time we meet, provided everything you like or everything you see is something you like? And they'll tell you. Or you can say, in the past, what's occurred that's maybe derailed a project like this or taking it off the rails? And they'll tell you. They'll say, well, last time we were doing this, and then we had this initiative pop up and it stopped, put everything to a halt. You want to kind of flush out anything that could ever stand in your way, so that way they don't have an excuse later. That's what you're trying to accomplish here. And also, you want to bring this stuff to the surface so you can address it now. I also will sometimes just ask them to rate the probability of going forward. So I may say, how do you estimate, or what do you estimate the probability of us moving forward the next time we meet? Now you can get like their true feelings of how likely they think they might be moving forward with you. Okay, if they say, well, we're like lukewarm, like a 6, I say, well, what do you think I need to do between now and the time I present some solutions to you to get that to a 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 even? And you find out. You flush it out. They may say, well, you haven't really asked about this, and this is something that we want to do. And now you go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And you start writing stuff down. You flush that stuff out. I can also say, based on what we've gathered today, what additionally do you need to hear from me before I come back and present some solutions and ideas for you? Now, some things might, again, get flushed out. So those are the questions. What have I asked you that I should have or that I haven't addressed yet? What haven't I asked, right, that you think that I should ask? That one's my favorite because they'll tell you. They'll be like, well, I thought you were going to ask about this. And you're like, ooh, write it down. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that could stand in the way of us moving forward? That's my second favorite question, so I put it at the top here. And then asking about in the past, is anything derailed or caused this to come, a project like this to come to a halt or just have it stall? People love to stall stuff. So I was asked them, is there anything that would stall this from going forward or keep this from moving forward? And then you can also say, what do you estimate the probability of us being able to work together or moving forward? And then lastly, what, if anything, do you need to additionally hear kind of from me? And I make it conversational when I ask these questions, right? Even writing these down are tough because these come out naturally for me because I know what I'm trying to accomplish, which is I want to find out what are some unforeseen obstacles that I might not know about. And so and sometimes I might just ask that. So are there any unforeseen obstacles that could stand in our way of moving forward? And by knowing that that's what I'm trying to accomplish, the questions kind of just come out. But I thought I would make it a little easier for you, give you these questions, but it's better if you start to think about, at this point, I want to make sure it's all about inoculation and preventing, something from happening that could stall the project. So think like a chef and you'll be able to ask different types of questions that are fitting for you. And so this will give you a good start, but I'd love to hear other types of questions around like this that would be more comfortable for you, and looking forward to hearing your feedback on this video.